Nope, it failed. Now it decides to move over at the last minute, cut off a truck behind me. Kind of a steep curb. Oh my gosh, it didn't slow down for those speed bumps. Do not turn here. No, we're not gonna go there. I had to hit the brake. There's a barrier there. I was just like this much away from it. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're gonna test out the latest V14.3.7 on software 2026-21.6. Let's go. Good job going through this yellow light. I would have done the same. No hesitation. So it's been quite a few weeks since I've gotten an update from V14.3.6 to now V14.3.7. So let's see if there's any improvements. The other locations I'd like to try are some busy areas, busy shopping areas. I think I have never tested how FSD would park in a garage parking, so that's going to be one location that we're going to be going to see how it handles garage parking and getting in and getting out. We're not doing Sam's Club, we're not doing Costco. I've already done those on my last two videos, and I think it was doing a great job at Costco, except the only thing that I'm waiting for is when Tesla allows you to select how you would like to park at the destination. Because at Costco, ideally you don't want it to back in, because when you back in and you bring your shopping cart out, there's another car behind you. So you want it to just pull into a parking spot and not back in. So that's my only gripe when it parks at Costco or Sam's Club. So this area that we're going to is the Folsom Museum in downtown, Old Town Folsom District. So here there's a person on the road, and it was a little bit being careful, like it was kind of like weaving a bit to be sure. It wanted to be safe that the guy's not going to try to cross the street. Very cautious, but in a good way. It wasn't like super braking or anything like that, because it wasn't sure if the guy was going to cross in our path, so it was just being very cautious, which I like. But there was no brake stuttering or anything like that where it was pumping the brakes, so it did a good job there. Okay, some little bit of rough roads here. And anytime I see a pothole, I'm definitely going to take over and avoid it. You know, I see a lot of people complaining about pothole, but it does say in the release notes that pothole avoidance is still coming. So if a feature's not there, don't expect it to work. Okay, this is the location where it failed on my V14.3.6. where it just pulled in front of the museum and just decided to just park right in the middle of this street. So, okay. We had the right of way at that point. It did brake when there was a stop sign for the guy. So I didn't like that movement, but it was being cautious in case they didn't stop. But that was just a little bit of a hard braking there. But it's better to be safe than sorry, right? So here's the museum. So I'm just wondering if it's just gonna park right in front, or is it gonna look for parking? I'm hoping it doesn't just pull over. Okay, it didn't pull over this time, which is good. So it's hunting for a parking spot. Last time it just pulled in front of the building. So let's see where it's gonna decide to park here. I see one across the street here, but it'd have to do like a U-turn. This is a no parking, that's red. It could technically turn right here and find some sort of parking, but okay, it's gonna make a left. Okay. It decided to park in a parking lot. Okay, I would not have gone here. Okay, it's... See, I picked street, and it went into this parking area. Okay, there's these people in front of us, so it's just waiting. I don't know what it's gonna do. It didn't fail yet. Okay. So it's gonna park in a no parking zone. Okay, this is, as you can see, this is a no parking. So let's see if it's just gonna stop here or if it's going to pull over. Okay, that was a fail because this is not an actual parking spot. Okay, we're gonna try it again. This time I have it set, which I had last time, park, and it's on street. So you see it says park and street. So we're gonna give it one last try to see if it can get it right. If it starts pulling that parking lot again, I'm just gonna take over. Okay, here we go again. So the museum is right here after this yellow building. There's a 15-minute spot there. It moved a little bit for the old person getting in their car. Okay, there's a parallel spot right here. It can technically park in this parallel spot. So let's see if it's gonna pull into this. If it does, then great, it did a good job. So here. Perfect. So this time it decided to parallel park right here. Yeah, I'm not sure why it didn't do that to begin with. There's so many places to parallel park. Okay, on to the next location. We're going to go to the Folsom Premium Outlets and see where it's going to park over there. And we're going to start full self-driving. And that one is set to parking lot. So I do see it right there. It's gonna park in a parking lot at the Premium Outlets, which makes sense. So in case you guys are wondering, this is Old Town Folsom. So there's all kinds of stops here. This is a four-way stop, kind of a funky street area. Let's see how it handles it. We should be next here. Okay, good. So that garbage guy waited. Okay, here's another stop into this intersection. By the way, the profile that I am using is hurry. And that's typically how I pretty much leave it on hurry for everything. I mean, the only time I really use Mad Max if I really wanted to just get around, you know, if it's following somebody too long and I want it to kind of move over. Sometimes it doesn't move over. So then I'll put it on Mad Max to just kind of get it to nudge it to switch lanes. I don't really have an issue with the speed settings. I know I hear some others that they prefer to set their own speed. I really don't have any problems with the profile. If I need it to, you know, drop down to a lower speed or want it to follow the speed limit, I usually would just put it on chill or sloth. Even though I use Mad Max once in a while, yeah, it's gonna speed, but it also tends to go with the flow of the traffic too, depending on traffic condition. So I do like the profiles. I don't care if they don't bring back, you know, setting the speed limit yourself. I mean, that's why you can adjust for how much you want it to go over the speed limit. So it's already there. I don't even mess with any of those. To me, it's just so much easier to just use my scroll wheel and go up and down to hurry, to sloth, to chill. You know, and you can definitely feel a difference when you move it down, because it'll start slowing down like right away if you went from hurry all the way down to like chill or even standard, depending on the speed limit. No other car company that is doing what Tesla is doing with the full self-driving. So it's very impressive. I still get some people that have never been in a Tesla or experienced full self-driving, and once they get in my car, they're just shocked that it really can drive itself. You know, sometimes they think it's just people blowing it up and saying, oh yeah, my car can drive itself, when it's more like, they think it's more like an active cruise control. And yeah, they don't realize how it can take you from point A to point B with no intervention. So right now we're on hurry, and this is what I'm talking about, and it's 55 mile per hour speed limit, and we're going 42. The other lane is clear, and it hasn't moved over, and we're supposed to move over anyway. So this is where I don't understand the logic of why it's just sitting in this lane, and it's still doing it in version 14.3.7. So normally during this time I would bump it up to Mad Max. Now it decides to move over at the last minute, cut off a truck behind me. There was a motorcycle. So I don't like the way it did that. It's terrible. So it could have made that decision when there was like a huge gap behind us, and it just moved over at the last minute and cut somebody off. So that is definitely a no for me. Tesla, if you're listening, I really don't want to get rear-ended in those kind of situations where last minute cutting somebody off is definitely a no-no. Okay, here we are. We're approaching the Premium Outlets. I didn't put in a specific store. I'm just curious of where it decides to find a parking spot. Okay, the parking lots are here, and then there's street parking in front here, so we'll just let it do its thing. Oh my gosh, it didn't slow down for those speed bumps. That was terrible. Okay, I had to hit the brake. There's a barrier there. I didn't want to hit the barrier, and I think I'm very close to hitting that barrier, which is the one that goes underneath the car, and I really don't want to scrape my car. I feel like that's terrible. It parked up front plus parking, scan pay after you park. Violators will be towed. I don't understand this. So it should read these signs. It shouldn't be parking here. Okay, so that's a fail. I did not hit the barrier. I was just like this much away from it. So these are the type of things that I'm not willing to find out whether it's going to do it or not I mean, we're just inches away from it, and I'm glad that I took over. So now we're gonna go to Panera Bread and the Palladio, which is another busy area. So unfortunately, this is a fail for me because I would not park here because you're supposed to scan and pay. So here we go. On to Panera Bread. Grab some lunch and continue the journey. So things that I didn't like coming here to the Folsom Premium Outlets: it didn't park in the right spot, plus it did not slow down for the speed bumps, like it was not even there. Here's another speed bump. This time it's slowing down, but I think that's because there's a person walking across. And it starts speeding up if you see my odometer, and there's another speed bump. Okay, this is a double speed bump. Okay, this time it slowed down a little bit more. Oh my gosh, it could go definitely a lot slower. That was a double speed bump. That was awful. Those are like the ones that you have to go 3 miles per hour. That's the reason why they put a double speed bump there, so people do not go fast, right? So far, I'm not really liking 14.3.7. Also, that last location we went to, out of all the parking spaces, it wants to park right next to another car when there was so many open spaces. Come on, Tesla, hurry up and bring out the capability to pick how you want the car to park at its destination. Whether you want it to park in end spots only, park far away from other cars, not directly next to a car. I mean, there's so many options that you should be able to choose, or a preference set where anytime I go to a location, I want it to just pick an end spot, or if it's a handicapped person, they might want to just pick handicapped parking spots. So I'm curious if it's going to park in the parking garage or on the street when we get there. It didn't have an option to pick garage parking. It just said parking lot. It went through that yellow light beautifully. Here's Panera Bread, so let's see where it's going to park. The garage parking is in here. Oh, it looks like it is gonna park in the garage. Nice. I would have made a left over there. There was plenty of parking over there. Okay. If we would have made a left over there, we would have been at Panera Bread because there was plenty of parking over there. So it's going to park way out here. Okay. Not my ideal spot, but it did get us here, no problem. Okay, we're gonna go to Red Hawk Casino because that has a big parking garage, and it does give you the option to parking in garage. So it says parking garage. So I have it set there. We're on hurry profile, set it to park. So let's see how it handles the parking garage. This is good because you'll be able to see some highway driving, how it merges on, merges off. Let's see how it handles the highway. Okay, so it's already in the wrong lane. Now it's gonna need to move over one. It should have just moved to the lane that we're supposed to go 50 on. The lane next to me on the left. This is going to the south. So let's see how it handles last minute jumping into somebody, cutting somebody off. That's what it's probably gonna do over here. Let's turn on my camera so you can see behind us. When it got on here, it should have already went to that lane. So this is another complaint which hasn't improved. It needs to be able to think ahead of time, knowing that we're sitting in a lane that's going west. We need to be the one going to east. But let's see how she handles it. Okay, it could have went over, but it didn't. Okay, now it's gonna decide to get over. Wasn't too bad. The Toyota was going very slow anyway, so. But these things create a little bit of anxiety for me, you know? It's like it needs to make a faster decision to begin with instead of waiting to these last minute. I would have hoped that 14.3.7 would have improved some of this stuff already. You know, full self-driving is wonderful, but it can also create some anxiety when, you know, as a human driver, you have your ways of how you would do things, and then you're at the mercy of how full self-driving decides to do it. So most of the time I just let it do its thing. It's only when it's, you know, if it can't avoid a pothole, I'm taking over. If it looks like it's going to hit a parking barrier and scrape, I'm going to take over. If it's a incline parking, you know, I'm going to take over because I want to raise my suspension. So that's one of the things that I would love for it to do for the Model S, Model X. I don't know, Model X needs that, but for Model S, if it knows by the camera, it sees the camera, it's using the front bumper camera or whatever, and it sees there's an incline, I wish it would raise the height of the vehicle, you know, to make sure it clears. That's just one of my wishes as a Model S owner. If you're listening, Tesla. Okay, I really don't understand why it had to do all of that. It could have just literally stayed in that lane ahead and stopped moving around like this. I mean, that was just, to me, I consider those kind of unsafe, because then you have other cars on your right that could just merge into your lane, instead of the proper way is just when you need to pass, you should be passing only from the left, not all the way to the right and then go around all those. See, it just basically went around when it could have just stayed in the left lane. I think one of the release notes said something about better lane change. I don't know. I don't think that was better lane change. Upgrade reinforcement learning stage training FSD. You know what? Instead of me reading this, let's just ask Grok. Hey Grok, what are some of the changes for V14.3.7? What are the improvements?
Full self-driving supervised version 14.3.7 upgrades the reinforcement learning for better handling in all sorts of driving scenarios, improves vision for low visibility and signs, and speeds up reactions by 20% with a new AI compiler. It also fixes lane biasing, boosts parking smarts, handles emergency vehicles and small animals better, and adds driver monitoring tweaks, plus actually smart summon up to 8 miles per hour.
Up to 8 miles per hour on actual smart summon? I thought that was done on version 14.3.3.
You're right. The actually smart summon speed bumped up to 8 miles per hour starting in version 14.3.3. The 14.3.7 notes just highlighted as part of the unified model improvements across FSD features.
Okay, so I disagree with the lane bias thing, because it was still lane bias earlier today, and it moved to the lane like last minute when it needed to make a left-hand turn, when it had plenty of room to do that.
Sounds frustrating. V14.3.7 aims to cut that last-second lane switch by mitigating unnecessary biasing, but real-world tweaks can take fleet data to fully iron out. Tesla tracks interventions to improve, so picking a reason next time helps their training.
Thank you. Goodbye. Sorry guys, my mount just fell. That tells me to pay attention because I was looking at my phone. Sorry guys, I'm adjusting my mount. It just literally fell over. All right, we are approaching Red Hawk Casino's garage. See where it's gonna park. Gosh, it's going in here right away. Okay, this is a fail because... Okay, no, never mind. I thought I was gonna try to go to one of those barriers. Okay, that wasn't so bad. I mean, I think the elevators are over there, so... yeah, I thought originally it was going to try to go through one of those barrier checkpoints. Okay, now let's see how it gets out of the garage and head home. I think it doesn't know where to get. It doesn't know how to get out of here. It's going in circles. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it knows how to get in the garage, but it doesn't know how to get out of the garage. If it does it again, I'm going to take over. This is so freaking annoying. Tesla needs to allow their cameras to read the exit signs so it can follow its way out. I have no idea why they haven't done that. Oh my gosh. Exit says straight ahead, so it needs to go straight. Do not turn. Do not turn here. Do not turn here. Do not turn here. We're gonna go straight. No, we're not gonna go there because you're gonna go in circle again. Jeez. There we go. See, I had to intervene just to get it to go to the right direction. But if Tesla will allow it to read the signs, it says exit was straight ahead, we wouldn't have had that issue. So today, overall, I have not been happy with 14.3.7. I just have not. I feel like it regressed. Well, it's a little bit of a disappointing day. I was hoping it would be a lot more flawless by this time, 14.3.7. I don't really have any issues with it on, highways. It's just once you're getting to the destinations where I'm finding most of the issues, where it's choosing to park, etc., or not park, and then getting out of the parking garage, that was another issue. Apparently it's not being able to read, the signs, the exit signs, so that needs major improvement. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll get the summer update soon.